Hi, this is Jeano Roberts. Jeano, actually Jeano is a nickname they gave me in high school, my surfing buddies. I'm talking to you from Cocoa Beach, Florida. This is my hometown. I've been here since I was 1 year old, and I play tennis and surf, and I want to get into more traveling, but that's another story. I grew up here, so you know, when you hear the stories about growing up in Brooklyn, how tough it was, well, you try growing up in Cape Canaveral during the 1960s with I Dream of Jeannie on TV, and your name is Jeannie. It was rough. Anyway, I grew up surfing here with the Slaters, and I was a competitive surfer for many years. I used to spend my summers in northern Minnesota, driving tractors, riding horses, farm hopping with my cousins and everybody. So I'm kind of a funny mix of farm girl and surfer girl, and I guess that explains the chickens running around my tiki bar. I was a homemaker. I raised 2 sons. I was a homemaker for about 25 years. I ran an art studio. I always did art. That was always my talent, I guess. My internet exposure started back in 2008. I actually started a business. I became certified in staging and redesign. I built a website using Site Build It, SBI. It's a company based in Canada. It's really nice group. So I started there. I got involved with send out cards to promote my staging and redesign business. I built a wonderful website. Never made any money doing staging and redesign, but I got a great website, and I was hooked. Once I started with the internet stuff, when Twitter came out and all that, David Fry told me about Twitter. He goes, be careful, it's addictive. I started meeting some people. I followed whoever he was following, and it turns out he was following all the internet marketers. And that's where I started learning about all the things I could do on the internet. Learning them and doing them are 2 different things. That's the one thing I found out over the last few years. I started going to events. Actually, my first event was called an Extreme Business Makeover, XBM, in Orlando. I think it was 2009. And I was in the back room hanging out with the guys. And there was one young guy, we kept looking at each other going, God, and we go, God, I know you from somewhere. It turns out I had pretty much met him on Twitter. You know, everybody's face is about that big, so we got a big kick out of that. I met some amazing people, made some great contacts, and then from then on, I have been in touch with people like Tom Scott, Bob Berg. I've gone to lots of events, and there's nothing, I don't think there's anything that's more fun than meeting people in person that you've met online. That's one thing that meeting all these entrepreneurs and network marketers and that, they always tell you to work with your gifts and your talents. And I always was like, well, you know, I was a homemaker for 25 years. What do I have? And I'll never forget, I went down to an event down in West Palm. It was called The Big Event. And Bob Berg was there, one of my buddies. Well, Buckeye's uncle. And he is a buddy. Randy Gage, John Maxwell, and Les Brown. And when I go to these events, I'm not shy. I do raise my hand and ask questions. And I'll never forget, Les Brown was on stage, and he was talking about everyone has a story. And I raised my hand. Of course, I'm shy. And I raised my hand and I said, well, what if you don't feel like you've accomplished anything yet? You know, here I'm in this room with all these amazing people, and I feel like, you know, I was a homemaker in, you know, Cocoa Beach, Florida. And he said, well, what have you done for the last 25 years? I said, well, I was a homemaker. And he says, do you have any children? I said, yeah, I have 2 sons. And he says, well, are either of them in jail or prison? And I said, no, not yet, like that. And he goes, don't say that. He goes, the universe can't take a joke. So, you know, I learned, I just kept learning, and now it has really come around full cycle that I'm going to be able to share my original talent, which is my art. Every class reunion I went to, people asked me, you know, hey, Jean, are you still doing your art? And now I'm getting back into it again, and I'm able to share it on my websites. And now that I have Ori's group, I've built a handful of WordPress sites, but with Ori's program, now I can really make them function the way they're supposed to function, and get that machine going. So I've got my optimized press theme going. and I cannot wait. I'm going to bust the gates open this year, and I'm going to really make something out of it. And so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody else's video tonight. I'll talk with you all later. Bye.